factually inaccurate.
Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. A shocking Gallup poll has revealed that a rapidly increasing number of kids in Generation Z are now identifying as members of the world's most celebrated popular group.
We're absolutely stunned by this,
said sociologist Dr. Vej Dergman.
We can't begin to explain why young, impressionable kids who are desperate for popularity and affirmation are suddenly choosing to become members of the most popular and affirmed group in human history. Every single movie, TV show, corporation, TikTok influencer, YouTuber, public school teacher, pop star, and Hollywood star in the country openly promotes and celebrates this group. Why on earth would teenagers want to be part of that? Must be biology.
Gallup results indicate almost 20% of Gen Z identify as members of this culturally beloved movement, with the other 80% being pathetic losers. Sources say membership in the group is growing every year as pressure on young people to join the group from literally every single idol, peer, and authority figure in their lives continues to mount.
It used to be that kids had to be smart, good-looking, or athletic to be popular, but many are finding it much easier to simply identify as popular,
said behavioral scientist Dr. Tim Thwain in response to the poll.
Wish I'd had that when I was young.
At airtime, the percentage of Gen Z kids in the group had increased to 35%, and we've just received word it's now up to 42%. Public schools in the U.S. are continuing to decline as performance and test scores reach record lows. Many are blaming this phenomenon on a lack of teachers in the classroom, since most of them have been beaten unconscious by students.
Yeah, I was going to prep my high school class for their state test this week, but I got sucker punched by one of my students and then proceeded to kick my head. Now I'm stuck in the ICU getting stitches. Oh well. What are you going to do?
Experts say teachers are increasingly in danger of being beaten to a pulp by young fatherless men raised in a nihilistic culture on fast food, video games, pornography, and violence, which they say can inhibit one's ability to teach a class full of kids. Current estimates claim 9 out of 10 teachers are unable to teach due to being in the hospital. Studies show 1 million more parents had elected to homeschool in the past week. Attorney General Merrick Garland's surprise Ukraine trip was cut short over the weekend after government officials asked him to leave, citing an overabundance of corrupt government officials already in the country.
Believe me, Mr. Garland, your corruption is legendary,
said President Zelensky during their short meeting.
But Ukraine already corrupt to the core. We pros at corruption, so we have this pretty well covered. We will not be needing your services. Thank you very much.
Sources say the Attorney General stammered in response, citing his lengthy rap sheet, which included sending the FBI after parents who protest at school board meetings, sending militarized police units to pro-life protesters' homes, and investigating, quote, radical Catholics.
Yes, we're aware. Very impressive, very devious, but not needed here. You're welcome to go back home where you belong. Thanks for stopping by, though, but you didn't have to.
Meanwhile, to avoid any future delays in sending billions of taxpayer dollars and deadly weapons to Ukraine, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has decided to make things easier and give President Zelensky the key to the U.S. Treasury.
It's simpler this way. Now Mr. Zelensky can let himself in whenever he wants and help himself to whatever he needs. As a government official, I want to help the government be as efficient as possible. This removes all those unnecessary steps that come between Ukraine wanting money and then getting it. I'm a genius. Vladimir, dear, you just take whatever you need, sweetie.
Sources say Zelensky has already let himself in the massive, highly secure vault 3 times today, helping himself to wheelbarrows full of coins, gold bullion, and Ashley Biden's diary.
We thank the American government for the lovely gift of their citizens' money. We promise to put this to good use by killing many Russians and buying lots of cocaine. God bless America.
At airtime, Zelensky had already made a return trip after blowing all the cash from his first 3 visits. A scene of desperation and panic unfolded on a Delta Airlines flight today after the captain of an all-female flight crew announced over the intercom that everything was fine.
Sure, just go on doing whatever you want back there. It's fine. Why wouldn't it be fine?
The cabin immediately broke into a cacophony of shrieks and prayers, with passengers desperately trying to message loved ones to say goodbye.
I keep asking, but they won't say what's wrong,
said Danny Evans, who had managed to reach his wife's phone.
Whatever it is, it must be really bad. We're in trouble, babe.
Passengers continued begging the crew to know what was the matter, but were met with the silent treatment. At last, the captain returned to the intercom only to say,
"You wouldn't understand,"
setting off a fresh wave of hysteria. This news outlet has received multiple reports that Keith Vance, a so-called man, actually posted a Facebook story, even though everyone knows Facebook stories are clearly for girls, and real men steer clear of such sissy nonsense.
I was with Keith this weekend, felling trees, digging holes, and cliff jumping.
Said genuine man Dirk Gutson while sharpening his 12-inch wood-handled kukuri knife.
Then after accidentally checking Facebook for the first time in, say, 7 years, I saw that Keith had posted a bunch of stories about our weekend with emojis and music? Ugh, garbage.
Gutson and other gruff friends of Keith expressed concern over obvious insecurities that led him to take such ridiculous actions as fishing for likes. Ralph Watt, a longtime friend and proud owner of Only Flannel Shirts, was aghast at seeing photos Keith had posted of their evening rolling cigars and using a homemade smelter to smith custom spittoons.
It was a night for men to be men. Nothing more.
Vance's friends eventually staged an intervention, forcing him to restore a Ducati 900CR motorcycle without taking a single photo. In a not-so-well-known miracle, Jesus, the Son of God, has done the impossible and healed a totally lame man by giving him a sick wardrobe makeover, curing him instantly.
Lame! What an absolute dork!
The crowd jeered at the lame man sitting on the street corner.
That guy will never be cool. Just look at him. He's been lame for 38 years.
According to witnesses, at that very moment, Jesus appeared and knelt down, handing the extremely lame man a dope pair of Ray-Bans and a sick lambskin jacket.
Arise and walk around in your new drip, for you are no longer lame. You are cool. Now go and be cringe no more.
At once, the lame man was fully healed, and the crowd marveled at how cool the man instantly became.
Wow, are those polarized?
That's genuine Italian leather.
This bit is low-key fire, bro. Not gonna lie.
Later, Jesus found the healed man once again in the temple and said,
Now that you are cool again, stay away from Reddit, fedoras, and anime, or you may end up much lamer than before.
According to sources, 8-year-old Kylie Carmen is being tucked into bed by her exhausted mother, but needs a few things before she can go to sleep. The first is a glass of water in her favorite princess cup, and the second is a satisfactory explanation for why we can still call God good even when bad things happen in the world.
Mommy, how can God be good when there's death and sadness? And how do I know I'm real and the whole world isn't fake? And you say we're not allowed to hate people, but are we allowed to hate Satan? And when I go to heaven, will I have a kid's body or a grown-up's body? And would I still be alive in a different body if you never met Daddy? And would you still love me if I was never born? And why doesn't God stop sin right now if he can do anything he wants? And when God made the universe, where did he put it? And what are electrons made of? And what's your favorite name for a platypus?
Eyewitnesses say the bleary-eyed mother gave her best attempt at giving satisfactory answers to all her daughter's questions, only to be told none of the answers were sufficient.
Mom, I think you're making that up. My water is too warm. Can you give me more cold water?
Sadly, by the time her mother returned with another glass of water, Kylie was fast asleep, her questions still unanswered. B Radio features officially curated content from the Babylon Bee. Scripted, voiced, and produced by Austin Robertson. Additional voices in this episode from Kirsty and Kristen. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe to B Radio on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts.